they, after May 1st, after people had put down their deposits elsewhere, they were going back to students who applied to Syracuse and were accepted, had not said whether they were going to come or not, or in some cases even said they were not coming, had already committed elsewhere, and started offering them $10,000, $20,000 to
Yep.
switch, essentially.
Yeah.
Some did, many didn't. But I think you're going to see a lot more of that.
Hmm.
Clearly, Syracuse missed their yield and so had to try to find students to fill seats. And I think that's just going to happen. I don't think it'll necessarily happen after May 1. I think you're going to start to see this earlier on in the year where they're just throwing those discounts at students to try to get them to enroll.
We've helped families with financial aid forms for 20 years now. We've been through that. And when COVID happened, we had a whole issue. And then when the COVID relief bill changed how the FAFSA was done, the delays and the issues and all that, the colleges still haven't sorted it all out and gotten back to a normalcy in giving. I saw a better giving year this year than we've seen in 3 years, upfront giving, trying to get that yield number back up. And I suspect that a savvy school out there is going to start to prop people earlier. They're going to start to try and get those commits early. We talk about the metrics and the algorithms that schools use and the way they look at demonstrated interest is a real thing at a lot of schools that has come back in vogue because they can demonstrate interest through electronic connection now. They can measure the open emails. They can measure the same stuff businesses do. So I have a feeling schools are going to start to, okay, there's a high probability of them coming if admitted, and if we give them X dollars and start to dial it in even better. And I think artificial intelligence is only going to help that subject. Thoughts on that, Jeff?
Oh, I definitely think so. I mean, artificial intelligence, I think, is going to enter into the financial aid and the admissions game a little bit in terms of trying to figure out, is this student going to be retained and graduate? Because that's another issue. Most schools want to know if they're going to admit a student, are they going to drop out after a year and we're going to have to make that up some way?
Yeah.
So they really want to know who's going to be retained. So I think it's going to enter there. And I think giving out financial aid is such a complicated puzzle. It's fascinating to me, right? Every year, colleges put out all these financial aid packages. They really don't know who's going to take them and who's not, but they really have to make their budget. They want to put enough money out on the street for students to take it, but if they put too much out there and too many students take it, then they've suddenly blown their financial aid budget. That to me is a fascinating algorithm because, as you mentioned, life hasn't been normal since 2020.
No.
Something has always disrupted that process, and they're basing all of their data on the past. That's where, again, AI, I think, could really help with the behavior piece of it and how are people going to react to $10,000 in financial aid versus $12,000 in financial aid.
The one thing that just went through my mind, because I've told families the idea, like, you find out you've been accepted, you wait for those awards, that you don't want to jump the commitment letter and deposit too early. And the story you just told about Syracuse and potentially in the future of them making that offer sooner, if you did something like an early action, you find out you're accepted and you said yes right away, I don't think Syracuse is going to all of a sudden just say, oh, thanks for accepting. Here's that extra $10,000, right? Like, you got to know, if you commit too early, there might be some money you're leaving on the table, especially if you're going to have some competitor offers that you might be able to use as leverage against that school. So with this future, I think pump the brakes. You might say, that's the dream school, I wanted to go there. But also, nobody wants to overpay for something. So you have until May 1st to make that commitment. Make sure that offer's right before. That's what I got from that story that you were telling. And with Dave, when you started, I was like, all right, everybody might know you're going, but officially see what that offer could be first. I don't know. Is that,
and I think, oh no, you're not wrong on that, because what I heard after I wrote that story on Syracuse for New York Magazine, I heard from all these parents who had committed, their kids had committed back in March, and they didn't get very much money from Syracuse. They felt like a fool, right? They were not happy. Now, here's what I think schools are going to do to try to get you to commit earlier. Then they're going to start, and some schools already do this. Hey, we're going to give you priority for the best dorms. We're going to give you first in line for classes. We're going to give you this. They're going to sweeten the pot to get you to commit earlier. Because that's exactly what Ron Lieber suggested in his column about Syracuse. Hey, let's wait. Just wait. Well, schools don't want you to wait, right? They want to commit early, right? They want you to commit early. And so trust me, they are going to try to figure out a way to get people to commit earlier.
That's a fascinating future development too. How do you set the hook? Right?
Yeah.
I mean, the bait's there, the financial bait's there, the prestige is there. Now, how do you convert? I think about, like, the signing bonus is real. There are signing bonuses exist in college. So I'm listening. They will offer you a $5,000, $7,000, $10,000 single year award to sign early. Can the colleges pull off a time limit offer?
Mm.
That's a good question. Like you already have a early decision, obviously, but they can say, well, you're accepted and we're going to give you this award, but you have to decide by March 1st. There's really nothing stopping them from changing the
Yeah.
calendar, especially with NACAC changing its guidelines a couple of years ago. It's kind of the Wild West right now. So
Yeah.
I think colleges have been kind of kind to each other. They've competed in a way, kind of in a friendly way.
Everybody plays nice in the sandbox when everything's hunky dory, right? When competition starts getting in there and you're threatened with a bottom line or a close down or a cutback, you're going to
Yeah.
change a little bit.
September 9th, is that when the book's
September
gonna be coming
9th,
out?
Dream School, how to find a college that's right for you.
If you like this clip, give us a like and a follow for more. And if you want to watch the full episode of College Knowledge, just click the link in the comments.